other than Chandramadan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, everyone.
So, Chandramadan has been in this function of healthcare business for a long while, very long while now. So, I'll begin with his brief introduction, though it's quite detailed, but I'll try to summarize it as much as I can. So, he's someone who comes with 35 plus years experience in general management and financial management. He's played the role of CFO with HP, and he's on the board of multiple organizations. In the healthcare business in specific, today Nursify is a very known brand, especially in countries like UK, Canada, and USA. We are known to be the biggest player in supplying the staff for one of the biggest chain or private chain of hospitals. Today, I have invited him specifically to understand how the market is going abroad for healthcare professionals. How safe is it? Which destination to go for? And what options do they have once they go abroad? And which country to go, and whether private chain of hospitals is better, or whether in countries like UK, NHS is a better option. So thank you so much for joining us, sir, and thank you so much for agreeing to give a little bit of insight to a lot of people who are trying to gain direction in this end. So today there is an increasing trend for nurses to be moving abroad, and especially from countries like whether it is Nepal or India or Philippines. What do you think is really exciting them to explore opportunities abroad?
Yeah, so I think a couple of things. First of all, for most nurses from the emerging markets, the income parity or income difference is so big that it makes a lot of sense for nurses from emerging markets to move to developed markets like UK, Australia, US, etc. So I think that's one very simple reason. But the other, I think, more important than that, certainly there is a financial or economic benefit, but also the quality of life in a lot of these developed markets is very, very different than what you will see in the emerging markets. So, for example, if you're living in India or Nepal or Philippines for that matter, you go through a certain standard of life which is way below what you will see if you live in Singapore, UK, or Australia for that matter, right? So simply the quality of life is very, very different. The family life is very, very different, and the opportunities that these places offer for the medical professionals or specifically nurses to become global citizen is simply humongous, right? So yes, economically much better place, and two, I think the overall quality of life, family life, professional life is way better in these markets than in emerging countries, and that's why I think most nurses are motivated to move towards developed worlds like UK, Australia, etc.
Absolutely. I think I much agree with Sir here because see, every professional today is trying to have a better lifestyle and want to earn. That's the basic motto behind getting into a career, right? And healthcare industry is really expanding in multiple countries. It's literally booming, and there's always a growing demand in these countries also. But help me understand, sir, since Nursify today is functional with so many countries, I mean, be it UK, be it Canada, be it Australia, according to you, what is the latest trend? Which country is gaining maximum attraction for people who are trying to move abroad?
Yeah, so I think UK definitely for a couple of reasons. I think number one, UK demand for nurses is simply huge. Um, as per a study, I think close to 1 million nurses are required in UK. So I think one of the largest across the world. Two, they made the transition process or immigration process from your home country to UK very, very easy and very fast. So typically, when you look at US or Australia or other parts of the world, that uh, you will see that a typical immigration process or a visa process for USA is around minimum 1 year, right? Australia may be slightly less, but typically between 1 to 2 years it takes for people to move to other parts of the world. But UK, I think the whole process does not take um, more than 3 months, and I think it's very easy process, very fast, very efficient. And number three, uh, I mean UK offers one of the most friendly, family-friendly atmosphere. So your healthcare is free, your schooling is free, uh, and of course uh, UK of course has a historical importance, and you can really see a lot of uh, from a quality of life perspective, family will enjoy being in a very beautiful country like UK. So, but most of all, the super easy the process, the fastest, the faster process makes it very uh, uh, attractive for a lot of nurses to choose UK as the primary destination. So that's what I would probably say.
I wouldn't deny that because UK as a country is not only a very beautiful country to be in, but since the healthcare market is really booming in such a big way and the good perks that it offers. But when we talk about UK, there are basically two main players in the healthcare setup. We are talking about people being placed with NHS or people going for private healthcare setup jobs. How do you see these two sectors in the healthcare space? Which one is a better recruiter?
So I think NHS is very well known because they are the largest employer. I think half of more than half of nurses in the UK will work in NHS. Um, but NHS is also the by default uh, healthcare agency for the most common man in UK, right? Common person in UK. So certainly NHS is a very large recruiter, um, and also uh, the major healthcare service provider. Now, by that, what happens is a common man is visiting uh, healthcare because it's free. NHS is free uh, because government takes care of the your healthcare needs. Um, Now, what that means uh, for nurses, right? So, as a recruiter, of course, NHS will have a number of opportunities, um, but it also has some uh, cons, if I may call it that way. Uh, because everybody is rushing to NHS, uh, as it is free of cost, uh, there is a huge amount of stress on the NHS resources. What does that mean? That means they take care of common person, common man. They take care of all the emergency needs, and that means a lot of strain on NHS resources. And that means a very stressful jobs for a lot of our nurses. I think those nurses who are already working long hours in their home market would realize that what a stress it can be. It can be a lot more stressful than a 12-hour job. Long queues, um, common customers walking in, so all stress in the system, lesser work-life balance, um, because you end up working long hours and extra shifts because there is so much pressure and the rush, and there's a long waiting for the patients as well, and that means more stress in the system. So while we look at NHS as the largest employer, healthcare employer in the country, it comes with so many, uh, I would say, not so great things or cons, that comes along with it. Now, if I look at now same points in the private sector, um, so the UK healthcare market is dominated by 4 or 5 private healthcare service providers, Circle Health, Ramsay, and a couple of others. And all of these take care of uh, non-emergency stuff. And number two, uh, they run like a corporate, right? So, what does it mean from nurses' point of view? So I think the nurses will, if they go to private hospitals, they are first of all they are as secured from a job point of view as their NHS. It's a myth that NHS is more secure because nurses' demand is simply huge uh, in the healthcare system in the UK, and most of the nurses, if they don't, uh, rather if they perform well, they will have a job, not to worry about it. So I think uh, it certainly offers better work-life balance, better patients because only affluent can go to private. Um, those who can afford private healthcare will go to the private hospital. So you have affluent yet very niche set of patients who will walk into that place in private hospital. Uh, Three, uh, you work. The nurses will work with very high level doctors because if you have affluent customers or affluent patients walking in, you'll always have the best of the best doctors available because it's business at the end of the day, right? So uh, the kind of healthcare professionals you work with are very different, um, and so you get to meet the best of the best in the world, right? Best professionals, best doctors, best surgeons, and last but not the least, I think because NHS does not take care of um, emergencies, they only operate during the work hours, like normal business hours, which is 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. or 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And that means you don't have night shifts, you don't have stressful long queues, you don't have rather you have a better work-life balance. And to top it all, because the corporates are run, rather the hospitals are run like a corporate, it's a business. So, and what happens in business, right? If you perform well, the business will give back to you more than what you have probably given, right? So, uh, and that would mean better work-life balance, better career development opportunities, better training opportunities, and your chances of growth are much higher. So I think for me, any day, uh, after working with these hospitals for last many years, I think for nurses from any part of the world, uh, private hospitals are certainly one of the best recruiters. From a are better workplaces, I would say, for nurses to join. And by the way, to top it all, the salaries in private hospital is usually uh, 10 to 15% better than NHS. And recently we've gotten some cases where we have gotten some nurses 30% more salary than NHS as an idea. So I think it's uh, a lot of benefits of joining private hospitals for nurses, whichever part of the world you come from. Um, my experience working with some of these private hospitals, I think we have seen that these are certainly better employers. And last, one more point I wanted to add before I forget. Um, they are one of the best employers. So some of the clients we work with are top 25 employers in the country. And I think uh, that makes it all the more reason for nurses to join.
Right, I much agree because undeniably the picture is very clear in our head. As in any country, managing the government hospital setup is always very difficult. They're under a lot of pressure, and so is the staff working there. And he's clearly made a point that when it comes to private hospital setup, especially in UK, since we are talking about, and he's mentioned Circle Health Group and Ramsay, which are today one of the most biggest giant players in this industry. And Nursifa is working pretty much handling a large section of their staff requirement there. We understand this business much deeper, and we understand the needs of nurses today for their career development, how important it is that they get good work life balance, they get career advancement opportunities. I believe so. A lot of these big brands are having a thorough learning and development plan, which they charter out for all the nurses who work. So they have a further growth path that they know, and they're assisted and rather excited to take up more certification programs and further develop themselves. Any inputs on that
Yeah,
as well
sure.
to share?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, as I said, for them, these are run by very, very large corporates. So, for example, Ramsay Hospital is run by one of the very large corporate in Australia, um, and there are a few hospitals in the UK as well, and all across the world. They are a $20 billion corporation, right? Now, $20 billion is not, by any comparison, not a small number. Um, so we work with them. Why I'm explaining all this is that they have a lot more appetite for making provisions for staff development and investing on staff development. Um, I had the pleasure of meeting almost 100 plus nurses last month when I was traveling across UK, and I think what I found when I met them is that they are very happy because whenever a new training opportunity comes up, they are nominated for that. Whenever uh, their well-being is being talked about, I think most nurses were very very happy sharing their experiences working with them. Um, and in terms of career development opportunities, I mean huge. So they have a CME, the continuing medical education, um, that most hospitals run. For example, Circle Health Group or Ramsay, Circle in particular, I think run a very rigorous nurses training plan where some of the nurses go for, let's say, generic surgery, and they're trained on orthopedics, for example, or ophthalmic for that matter. So I think uh, there is uh, there is a very structured, rigorous uh, plans for employee training and development, and I think many of them have dedicated leaders who take care of that. So that's why some of the clients we work with, in fact, Circle has been rated as the top 25 employers in UK last year, and I think I'm not surprised why they got that because when I talk to the nurses we have placed, when we talk to the uh, when we interact with them, when we speak to them after 2 years or of placing them, they are very very happy. So short answer, yes, they have a rigorous plan, and what that means as well is that because you're trained, because you are um, developed in a different way, your chances of getting promotions are very very easy and much faster versus NHS. So in government hospitals, you will probably, it's by the time, right? You complete 1 year, you move half a step. You complete 5 years, you move maybe 2 steps. But in private hospital, just to give you an example, I think some of the nurses have been promoted in as less a period as 9 months. So we have seen not just the training piece, but the career growth is a lot more on an accelerated path, a lot more fast than what you would see with NHS.
Wow. I mean, that just assures any nurse who's looking at growing once they taking a big decision of moving out of their comfort country and going abroad, and then expecting that, yes, my career should shoot up. And here is private sector hospitals who are trying to do everything to ensure that, yes, your career takes the right path and it does accelerate. So they are willing to invest money in your development. So private healthcare setup is much more lucrative. I think that's pretty much clear from the conversation because when it comes to salary, as Chandasa has given you an idea already, the private healthcare setup has the capacity to pay you a lot more. When it comes to giving you career development opportunities, giving you a better work-life balance, because when we move abroad to a newer country, we are looking forward to settling down comfortably and having a better life than what we are living today. So all these points definitely do work and point us towards the private healthcare setup. However, sir, do you think that the cultural shift that happens for nurses when they move to any new country, does these hospitals like Circle Health Group and Ramsay have any additional support for these nurses to help them settle down in the country as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So before that, I think one important point is from a cultural point of view as well, right? So if you are, let's say, new to a country, um, new to of course, hospital in new healthcare settings. Um, Certainly, you want to know more about how does it work, what's the local practices sector. So I think if you join NHS, you are one of the many 100,000 who are in the system. So you are, yeah, you're part of the process, and the box will be checked. However, for the private hospitals, so for example, I went to London Independent Hospital, uh, in the last trip to the UK, and I think it was very clear when I was talking to the hospital administration that um, they knew the nurses very well because there are few of them. There are probably 50 nurses, 60 nurses in the hospital, or maybe 100, and they knew each of them by name. What that means is that for the cultural adaptability, they go a long way in making them feel comfortable in, and they have the time, and they customize each and every training, um, uh, catering to individual needs of a particular nurse. So if you are from Nepal, from a remote area, from a rural area, so first you learn about how to make a transition from a rural to an urban area, and then urban one country to another country. I think they can really do that uh, training for you very very quickly because uh, they will know that that customization is required in your case, and if you're coming from remote areas of Nepal or for that matter India, right? Um, uh, they're able to customize that cultural adaptation program for you, right? So yes, they do cover cultural orientation as part of the OSCE process. But before that, what happens is Nursify will also, as part of the pre-departure orientation, we will train them, what to watch out for, what challenges you will face, and we prepare you well before that. So, Nursify plays a big role in doing a cultural orientation, but also once you land there, uh, because there are so few of you in private hospital, they will provide uh, much focused, customized, and tailor-made training on cultural adaptation. And I think it's for you. It's very easy for nurses to mix with them as well, right? If you go to a cafeteria and you find 5,000 people having lunch, you are one of those 5,000, and that's what will happen in NHS. But if you go to a cafeteria with only 20 people having lunch or 30 people having lunch at one point in time, I think your chance of mingling with them is much easier, and hence your culture adaptation happens much faster than the NHS for that matter. So, short answer, yes. Uh, there are customized tailored program on cultural adaptation. I, I won't be exaggerating if I say that most nurses gave me the feeling that they are treated like princes. Okay, and I'm not saying that just because we want to promote private hospital, but I think it's when I met them, that's the feedback I received, and I think it goes a long way. It gives me a lot of comfort that a lot of our younger who were hospitals are being treated well. I think money, etc., is one thing, but if you're not happy in a foreign country, if you're not taken care of, um, uh, then I think uh, the it's very difficult to adjust in a country, in a new country. So apart from the accelerated culture and adaptation and tailor-made program, I think the fact that there are few of them, the focus is a lot more on the nurses, makes them feel very special, and the settling in time is much shorter and much easier for a lot of the nurses who go to the UK.
Definitely, I think that just gives us the insight that, see, if we are at NHS, we are part of the crowd, right? Really, and as Sir has said, there's a drill that they are going to follow. They will do their bit, but it's a checkbox that they are taking. While when we are in private healthcare setup, his point well taken. There is more personalized attention being given. The entire setup is tailor made to suit each and every nurse. So yes, that becomes very very lucrative, because when I'm new to a place, and if no one's watching over me or giving me directions, then yes, you tend to feel very lost in this space. And here is private healthcare setup trying to ensure that their nurses are very well taken care of, their staff is very well taken care of in terms of settlement. So I think that's another very very big plus. Before I move further, I believe some of you probably would have questions by now. I see some of the people trying to raise hands. I would like to pause a little to give you an opportunity. So if anyone has a question, you may please raise your hand, and then I can give you a chance to unmute yourself and ask directly. Please go ahead. So Savani, I believe. Yes, please go ahead and you may ask your question, please.
Hello, everyone. Recently, I just have heard about that there is a little bit pay rise in NHS. So I just wanted to confirm that is there any pay rise with private hospitals as well? It might be because of the inflation and all these issues are going on in the UK. So I just wanted to confirm that it is. I mean, the pay rise is same or it's been little bit increase. I think there is some 5% or 10% increase, something like that.
Yeah, so I think every year they do. Yes, there has been some pay rise, um, close to 5%, um, and you will see that with private as well. Okay, um, the beauty of the private system is they don't have to follow a structure. So, for example, a typical pre-OSCE salary and a post-OSCE salary is um, 26,000 pre-OSCE and post-OSCE around 30,000, 29 to 30,000 pounds. Um, yes, there has been some pay rise in NHS that you will see, um, but in in private hospitals, if you are good and your experience is um, a better experience, so let's say if a nurse from Nepal or Philippines or India comes with 8 years of experience, you are most likely to get 20 to 30% more in the private hospital. So one of our nurses recently, I think I mentioned earlier, uh, the, I think the nurse is joining one of the largest hospital in UK and in the world, by the way, and he was offered almost like 37,000 pounds post hospital salary, which is about 25 to 30% more than what you will get. The other point, Sabni, is that um, uh, with the recent elections coming up, uh, the NHS is going through a freeze, uh, a budget freeze, which means they will. Yeah, you may hear 5, 10, 5, 6% pay rise, but what you will see is NHS will significantly slow down the hiring. It's been in the news, by the way. So I think for next foreseeable future, which means next 6 months, uh, even though they are promised an increase, they will not hire any new nurses. Um, so it's up to you. Who still want to go to NHS and take the risk, it's your call. But in my humble opinion, uh, NHS will be very, very challenged on hiring as well. Yeah. I hope
Okay.
that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Savni. I think following Savni, I have Mr. Ramesh. Do you have a question too? You've raised your hand. Would you like to ask? Mr. Ramesh, would you like to unmute yourself and ask this question at yourself? In the meanwhile, if others do you have a question too, then you can post it here in our chat box, and I'd like to take it up, and I'll come back and again give you an opportunity to ask directly as well. So you just made the point on NHS slowing down. That is something I definitely wanted to ask you because it's recently a lot in the news. So, what really is happening? Why is it that they're pausing on the hiring? And we're happy to hear that news because that's helping the private healthcare set up business. But then, what's really behind it?
Yeah, I think so. A couple of things. One, the elections are coming up, right? So uh, typically, when there's a transition in the government, they are more careful in not making any tough decisions, if you may call it that way, or any important decisions. So everything comes to a pause. That's one major reason. But second, I think uh, what I'm seeing is that NHS is really starving for funds. Um, uh, because maybe the government doesn't have enough budget, so not enough funding is allocated to them. So the I think the budget allocation have not been at par with what you will see with the private hospitals, and that's second reason why um, we're seeing a slowdown. So I think anybody who's looking at NHS at this point in time, and by the way, I mean they're still the largest employer. They still have they're still run by the government. So I would be I wouldn't want to badmouth them, if I may call it that way. But I think one has to be very careful in looking at the option because it's all about your career. It's all about where your future is going to be. So, given these constraints, if I was nurse, I would be very very careful of like just at this point in time.
Absolutely. Looking at the condition today, yes, the decision should be very clear for people who are struggling or thinking, even thinking, considering the idea of going out. You understand which way should you be moving towards. Yes, so I do understand some of you have already come up with some more questions. I'd like to take one which came first. And here is Asha Mole asking us, what about the schooling for the children and pensions? Okay, certain very obvious questions that you may have when you are considering an opportunity abroad in UK. So, would you like to throw some light on this
Sure.
as well?
So I think schooling all across UK is free, whether you work for NHS or you work for private. I think that's absolutely free because you will realize when you land there, the tax rates are very very high, right? So the schooling is free for you, and the pension plans are also about at the same level as you get in NHS. Similar plans. By the way, these pension plans are not tied to the government but tied to the country. So, for example, like in India, you have a provident fund. Whether you work in a private sector or you work in government sector, the provident fund is applicable to you. Similarly, the pension fund in UK is applicable to you, irrespective of where you work. So, I think job security, pension, schooling, and I would also add healthcare. That even healthcare is free for you and the family if you are in the UK, whether you work for private or NHS. It's still free for you. Yeah. So I wouldn't worry too much about those things in the private sector. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So, UK in general comes with these lucrative benefits to you. I'll love to give others also an opportunity. Lovely Jacob, I believe you're trying to ask a question, but you're on a listen only mode. So, unfortunately, you can't directly ask the question. You can use your microphone option to log in. Otherwise, you can post a question in the chat box, and I would love to take that up. In the meanwhile, I'll take up the question that Kennedy has posted. Do you have any special recommendations for the private hospitals that we can apply to?
Sure. So I think there are five major private hospital groups in UK. Um, so Circle Health Group, one of the largest groups in the UK. We work with them very closely. We are uh, the exclusive partner with Circle. Um, Number two, we work with Ramsay Group. Ramsay is one of the largest hospital chains in the world, um, and they are mostly in Australia, UK, some part of Asia. They have hospitals, and the last one, or the third one, is a company called Aspire Healthcare. So, if you are, you know, aspiring nurse looking for great career development opportunities, I would strongly recommend Circle and Ramsay. These are two very well tried and tested hospitals that you can go to. And as I said, they have some great uh, people development policies that I think you'll be very proud of when you land there. So I think these two hospital groups I would strongly recommend. The third one, which is a bit new, but we are working a relationship with Aspire Healthcare. And the fourth one is HCA. So apart from HCA, we work with all three other hospitals, which is 75% market share. And I think if you pick any of these three, you are fine.
Super. So, if you are considering going to UK, I think the choices are very clear for you. Since we as Nursify, we're already working with one of the biggest private chain of hospitals, all the big brands. So he's just told you that these are the one which are offering you the best opportunities too. So you know where to go, and you're home with us. Pretty easy. However, I hope we've answered your question, Kennedy, and I believe question of Loveleen is also on the same lines and wanting to know which private hospitals probably they should be looking out for opportunities. Get connected with us, and we'll be happy to list the current opportunities with you. Come to our website, and you'll get to see which are the newer opportunities that people are searching for, that a healthcare organization tied up with us are searching for. In the meanwhile, I'll take up the next question. So another one by Lachman is that I wanted to ask if you all are recruiting for care assistants or care through NHS. So are we looking in this domain?
So we do work with a lot of NHS trusts as well, and as well as private hospital. Um, if you are a registered nurse, the only reason why you're going to UK as a care assistant is because you can't clear IELTS. I would strongly recommend you do IELTS or OET and go as a registered nurse. Um, uh, but we don't very actively work on the care home arena. But if you do have if you are a profile and that or if you are interested in joining as only care home worker, we'll be happy to look at it. We have options in Dubai, we have options in UK that you can apply to. So yeah, short answer, yes, we do take care of care workers as well. Not so much in NHS, but in some of the private groups. But if you have a keen interest in any of a particular NHS trust, we can certainly find out and help you out. Not a problem.
That's great. So you do understand that we are working in this domain as well, and hope we've answered your question, Mahavir. I'd like to give an opportunity once again to those who'd like to unmute themselves and directly ask the question. Please go ahead. And a couple of you who have raised your hand, please go ahead and ask your questions directly. You may unmute yourself. Yes, all of you could ask your questions directly if you want to. You can unmute yourself. Else, please post your question in the chat box. I'll be happy to take them on your behalf. Yes, I believe for some of you, since your microphones might not be working, posting a question in the chat box will be fine. I'd like to take these up on your behalf for sure. So in the meanwhile, if I may ask you a few questions too. When it comes to relocation, you were mentioning that the Nursify team does a lot of primary work and does not, and really helps you settle down. So, what are the various steps, and how are we assisting our nurses to settle in into these newer spaces?
Yeah, I think so. Couple of things. When you go to a new country, I think there are a lot of steps required for license registration, like Nursing and Midwifery Council of UK is the appropriate nursing council body for license. So we help you with that process. There is also an assessment test like CBT. We can help you with that. And along the way, um, there are multiple places that the nurses require support. So things like interview training, um, IELTS training, if the nurses require help with that, we have a team of people who would help the nurses work on interview preparation, resume writing, IELTS training. And once they are selected in the whole post-selection process, we take care of the whole visa, relocation, finding them accommodation, basically the whole process. This is time they land in UK and are comfortably settled in the new accommodation. So yeah, the Nursify team will take care of pretty much everything, and the most beautiful part is that we don't charge anything for this service. So I think the whole screening and selection process, interview training, IELTS training, uh, the post selection process, where right from visa to accommodation to tickets to airport transfers, all of that is taken care by us.
It's amazing. I mean, that could be great news for a lot of people who are trying to seek opportunities abroad because, see, Nursify is not charging you, helping you step by step at everything till the time you don't land there, settle in, and even your accommodation is well taken care of. And yes, a lot of cultural grooming, as you mentioned, is also being done by the team so that you understand the setup once you're there and you can relate with it a lot more. That's very exciting. Thank you so much for giving us more insight on that, sir. In the meanwhile, I'd like to take up a few more queries which have come up. Loveleen is asking us, what about the nurses that want to work in care homes? Hope they will be getting an employment opportunity to work with the private sector as well.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So I think we do take care of you know care home nurses. So most recently we have received a request from Dubai and also in UK. So if you are a care home nurse, feel free to write to us. And if you're not from a red list country, I think you'll be selected um, quite fast. So, short answer, yes, we will take care of care home in the private sector, and some very credible ones that you will certainly, most certainly enjoy joining. So, I think if you have interest and you're ready, please send us your resume, and we will be happy to help you out. Um, for your application, you can simply write at hello@nursify.co.uk. My colleagues will just mention that on the chat as well.
Great, great, great. So that means that in all these directions, Nursify is willing to assist you. So whether you're looking for a care home opportunity or you're willing to work in a private healthcare setup, as a registered by, so in any capacity as a registered nurse, theatre nurse, there are a lot of opportunities which are knocking your door every day. So you should be very much looking forward to going on our website nursify.co.uk, and you're going to find latest job opportunities posted there. Get in touch with us, and our team will be more than happy to assist you. All right. After Laveen, I'll once again take up Lakshman's another query. I'm very much interested in getting the care assistant or care within NHS career within NHS. I would love to get this opportunity from Trinidad or Tobago and looking to get sponsorship as well. What would you say on that, sir?
Yeah. So, sorry, this was a care home or listeners?
Care assistance and career with the NHS.
Yeah. So I think, look, the definitely there is an opportunity. Um, Maybe just for the sake of clarity, she's already in UK or she wants to go to UK. Just want to clarify.
Lushman, would you be able to clarify? Are you already settled in UK? Because you've mentioned that I would love to get this opportunity from Trinidad or Tobago.
Okay. So I think if you're from Trinidad or Tobago, um, just a couple of things. Uh, try and get uh, try and get nursing registration certificate if you have RN certificate or RN license. If you don't have one already, it'll make your chances of uh, getting a nursing job in UK much higher uh, than anybody else in the world because you come from an English speaking country. Okay. Um, uh, Caribbean countries are classified as English speaking countries where you don't have to appear for IELTS or OET. If you still like to go for the care home opportunity, as I said, we have some opportunities already available in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and those are uh, very live, and you get good pay structure there as well. Or if you like to go to UK, yes, we'll be happy to help you. So send your details at the email ID you mentioned, and one of my colleagues or recruitment consultants will help you find a right job in your desired country.
Super. So now Sifan gets to make this easier for you. You already have the contact details in the chat box already displayed by our support person. Now I would like to take up the next query. This is from Poker, who's a GNM nurse probably, and says that I'm interested. But the question is, what is the recruitment age limit? And as probably Poker is not having an IELTS or OET exam clearance already.
So I think age no bar, gender no bar. I would say don't worry about the age factor. I don't know what's your current maturity stage, but I age is not. Uh, I mean, I've seen people even above 50 getting jobs as well, so don't worry about that. If you have not cleared IELTS, I would strongly recommend you clear IELTS or OET. Um, Depending on which country you come from, you will need to clear OET. If you are from one of the English speaking countries, probably you don't have to. But if you are from any of the emerging markets like India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, or Indian subcontinent, if you may call it that way, or Philippines, or Asia, you will need to appear for IELTS or OET. If you come from Caribbean countries or any of the English-speaking countries like Australia, UK, etc., you don't have to appear for IELTS. Hope that answers your question.
Yes, I think we've answered your question, Poker. If you have any further queries, feel free to post to us. And as he has already mentioned, Team Nursify helps you clear these exams as well. So if you're struggling with them, you've given it a try and you couldn't make it through, reach out to us and probably we can give you that helping hand and give you your desired score so that you can move ahead with your decision. In the meanwhile, good to know Loveleen has already made up her mind and says that I'm in Dubai and I'm interested in taking up this opportunity of going to UK. Well, Loveleen, we'll be more than happy to assist you on this journey. So Team Nursify will get in touch with you. And Luchman has clarified that is already from Trinidad. Okay, so I'm from Trinidad. All right, Luchman.
Yeah, and somebody said who's in Dubai already. So we do have a Dubai office. If you want to meet up with our colleagues there, you can write to Marie at nursify.co.uk. She will be happy to. You can write to her, um, and she will be happy to help you, speak to you, and provide you all the information you need to help you find find a job in the UK.
Great. So that means even in UK, people who are trying to, like yourself, Laveen, looking for opportunities and are willing to consider Nursify, we already have our office. We'll be more than happy to answer all your queries. And yes, we'll just put together the contact details for Dubai as well. Here in the chat box, you can get in touch with our team. All right. Monica has another one. So, how can we get notifications about the interview results?
Yeah, so Monica, very simple. Usually, you will get interview results within a week. Um, in most cases, we do get back to the candidates within 48 hours. But maximum within a week, you get the interview results, and those are communicated through the most favorite platform, WhatsApp. So you will get the information on WhatsApp, and you get the information on email. Usually within 48 hours of the interview. And then after that, once we confirm that, you will get a formal email from the hospital with your offer contract, and take it. Just allow no more than a week's time for you to get that letter, and usually we have seen most people get it way.
That's great. So the communication channels are very direct, and you wouldn't have to struggle with us. We'll stay in constant touch, and you'll get all the information on time from Team Nursify. Hope we've answered your question, Monica, and taking up Chandani's query. So Chandani is saying that I'm a registered nurse from Nepal, total 8 years of experience, but initial 3 years I've worked in that hospital, and currently working for an organization since last 5 years as a medical professional. Okay, so Chandni wants to know that does she need to have a recent experience at the hospital in order to take an opportunity abroad?
Yeah, absolutely, Chandni. So the typical thumb rule is that in last 18 months, you should have at least, or last 24 months, you should have at least 1 year of clinical experience. Then your chances of getting a job is much, much higher. Whether it's, in whichever department you work in, I think you need to gain that experience um, to secure a job in the UK.
Okay, there you have it, Chandi. So yes, you'll have to work on that bit, which is a bare minimum requirement for you to get this opportunity. So moving on from Chandi to okay, Luchman is trying to get in touch with us to let us know that Luchman is not a registered nurse presently, and would still love to get this career opportunity in UK. So what are the chances for Luchman here?
Yeah, I think so. It seems like you want to go as a carer. Um, so yeah, Lakshman, send us the detail. We will certainly look at it and forward your resume to the care home companies who are hiring. Um, uh, we'll be happy to help you, and you know, all of this service is provided to you at no cost. I know a lot of care home workers pay a huge amount of money to some of the agents who are not serious about this business to run it ethically. So please make sure you don't pay any money to anybody, including in the team Nursify, and we'll be happy to help you.
That's great, Richmond. So you always have Nursify on your side in order to, at no cost, give you the assistance and the guidance that you may need. So please get in touch, and we'll give you the right direction, whatever is best deemed fit for you. I'd like to take up another last one here. So we have another one from Abeda saying that I am currently working in a hospital since past 5 years. So what are the requirements to apply for UK?
Yeah, so Abida, what you need to do is, since you're already working, I assume you already have done either your BSc or GNM. So you need BSc GNM certificate, you need nursing council registration of your home country, and also the nursing and midwifery council registration of UK. NMC dot, you can look at nmc.co.uk, and then you need to have CBT test cleared. that's also run by NMC, and need to have a required IELTS or OET score. Um, the minimum criteria for IELTS is overall 7, overall band, and in each of the skills, and 6.5, although it can be 6.5 in writing. Similarly, for OET, you need to have overall band B, and in each of the skill, like listening, reading, and speaking. In writing, you can still have C plus. So all of these requirements, I know it can be overwhelming for you, the long list. All of this is listed on our website, nursify.co.uk. But if you still have questions, feel free to write to us at hello@nursify.co.uk, and one of your friendly recruitment consultants will be able to.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. I'm in doubt that I completed DHA license exam currently only, but are in your nursifies, are you providing job vacancies for nurses?
Yes. So if you done DHA, then you are best fit for Dubai. So would you like to go to Dubai or UK?
Actually, I want to go for Dubai only.
Yes.
Cleared my license exam, DHA, Dubai Health Authority, sir.
Yes, yes. So if you're already cleared DHA, we'll be happy to place you in Dubai. Please send us your resume at hello@nursify.co.uk, and we'll be happy to help you. Sorry, I didn't catch your
Oh,
name.
Sharon.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, that's Sharon, right? Sir didn't
Ye-
get your name.
Yes, it's me, Sharon Anthony.
Okay, okay, Sharon. So we'll be happy to help you. I think we have a lot of opportunities in Dubai. We just started to interact with one of the largest customers in Dubai. So we'll be happy to place you in Dubai if you clear a DHA license.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for getting in touch with us, Sharon. And definitely, we have an opportunity for you too. So please stay connected, share your details with our team. Our consultant will reach out to you shortly. All right?
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, at present I am working in Saudi as a ICU staff nurse, but I would like to go UK for my job opportunity. But at present I don't have OET, ma'am. So if still I don't have OET, still are you recruiting as a registered nurse for UK?
Yeah. So
Vijayalakshmi.
Vijayashmi, for to get a job in UK, you will need to
Yes,
clear
yes, UK. Yeah, yes, sir.
yeah, yeah. You will need to clear your OET exam. Okay.
Okay,
If you need any help with preparing for the exam, we can guide you
okay,
to our partner company, eAgeTutor, who would be happy to help you prepare for the exam as well. Okay. And that's an online course that you can do to prepare for OET, and they have a 95% success ratio as well. But you do need OET to go to UK. Otherwise, you can send us your documents. Prima facie, what you've asked, you would require an OET test, but you can send your documents to hello@nursify.co.uk, and we'll be happy to
okay.
look at it to see if we can make an exception.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Vijayalakshmi. I hope we've answered
Yes,
your
ma'am. Thank you.
question. Thank you. There is another one that I have here, sir, and this person's asking if I'm in Kuwait, what is the procedure of shifting to UK? Is there any center? Probably you're looking for a center in Kuwait. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are based in Dubai. We do have an office in Dubai. So you can write to us. But typically, the process will be very simple. You need to have uh, your education qualification certificate, which I'm sure you have, your experience, I believe. you need to register with NMC, Nursing and Midwifery Council UK, and you need to clear your IELTS or OET test. Okay, what you could do is speak to our Dubai team, write to Marie at nursify.co.uk, and she'll be and leave your contact details, and she will be happy to give you a call and. We'll be happy to give you a call and address any queries that you have. So she's based out of Dubai. Hopefully, we have enough people from Kuwait in the future, and we will have a presence in Kuwait as well. But in the GCC region, we are certainly based out of Dubai, so you can reach out to them or just write to us. One of our consultants internationally can give you a call because we have global offices, in UK, in Dubai, in Singapore, in Philippines. So they should be able to get back to you as quickly as possible. Doesn't matter wherever you are. I'm sure we can find a solution for you to get to the UK.
Ma'am, I have completed BHMS, ma'am, Bachelor in Homeopathy and Surgery, and I have currently working in a community health sector, ma'am, as a medical officer in Ranchi, Jharkhand.
Okay.
And I have, ma'am, hello,
Yes.
hello,
Yes,
sir,
yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
I have both clinical and diagnostic skills, and currently I'm also running my own homeopathy clinic, and I have treated lots of patients very successfully. Ma'am, am I eligible for this job opportunity?
Yeah. So, Madhu, sorry to disappoint you, but you need a allopathy degree or BSc nursing degree
Hello.
with registration in council. I am sorry you will not be eligible for.
Sir, your voice is not clear, so please tell again.
Okay. Yeah. So, Madhu, you need medical surgical experience in a hospital and a registration with nursing council. I think with the homeopathy degree, it will be difficult to get a registration. So I'm afraid you won't be eligible as per your current qualification. But if you do register with nursing council and if you do complete a BSc nursing or a diploma, we'll be more than happy to help you.
Okay, sir. Okay.
If you're still trying to get in touch with us, Dr. Madhu, anytime in future you think you've got what it takes to be there, we'll be happy to assist you for sure. We are very happy to have a very interactive group with us today. I'm excited to see that you are excited and looking forward to your career opportunities in UK. And as you know, and I've already told you in the beginning of the session, Nursify is not just working in UK today. We are present and working with big healthcare facilities in USA as well and Canada as well. So yes, if you're looking at USA, Canada, Australia, UK, get in touch with us. And in fact, being placed in Dubai itself, let us know what is your requirement. Send across your details on the contact numbers and the email ID shared in the chat box. We'll be happy to walk you through the process. A consultant will explain you everything in advance, and this comes free to you. So we are pretty much transparent. That's why we are one of the trusted partners for multiple big healthcare brands today. And with that, since there are no further queries, I'd like to conclude the evening. Thank you so much for joining us, Chandra today.
Thank you so much, lovely audience, and pleasure talking to you, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. See you next time. Thanks for joining in.